The Holy Gospel according to St. John from the 14th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Philip said to Jesus, "Lord, show us the Father, and we will be satisfied." And Jesus said to him, "Have I been with you all this time, Philip, and you still do not know me? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you I do not speak on my own, but the Father who dwells in me does his works. Believe me that I am in the Father and the Father is in me. But if you do not, then believe me because of the works themselves. Very truly I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and in fact will do greater works than these, because I'm going to the Father. I will do whatever you ask in my name, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If in my name you ask me for anything, I will do it. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And I will ask the Father, and he will give another advocate to be with you forever. This is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. You know him because he abides with you, and he will be in you. I will not leave you orphaned. I am coming to you. In a little while the world will no longer see me, but you will see me. Because I live, you also will live. On that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. They who have my commandments and keep them are those who love me. And those who love me will be loved by my Father, and I will love them and reveal myself to them." Judas, not Iscariot, said to him, "Lord, how is it that you will reveal yourself to us and not to the world?" Jesus answered him, "Those who love me will keep my word, and my Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. Whoever does not love me does not keep my words, and the word that you hear is not mine, but it is from the Father who sent me. I've said these things to you while I'm still with you. But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything and remind you of all that I have said to you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." The Gospel of the Lord. I heard a funny story recently about a little boy who was sitting in the back of the car, and his father is driving, and he's in the car. The little kid is in the car seat, and he's apparently eating an apple, and he says to his dad, "Papa, why do apples turn brown?" Now, most parents would probably just give, an easy answer because it's old or something like that. But this guy was a scientist, and so he said, "Well, whenever the flesh is removed from the apple, a chemical reaction starts and oxidation takes place, and it causes the flesh of the apple to turn brown. And because of this chemical reaction, then all of the flesh inside starts to break down." And the little boy, before the father could take a breath, he said, "Papa, are you talking to me?" And isn't that the way we are sometimes too? I mean, sometimes we talk over people's heads. How many times have you had that, Oakley, whenever you were in school? How many of you had it, Lauren, when you were in school and a teacher talked over well, you two probably didn't because you're too intelligent and you probably wouldn't have had anybody talk over your heads. But it happens every day to all of us. It happens every day whenever we go to the mechanic and we don't have an idea about how to fix the problem with the car, because cars are made differently now and you can't even work on them. You have to take them to a mechanic to hook it up to a computer. Or it happens to us whenever you talk on the telephone with the insurance person and you know that what you're having trouble with is logical, and the conversation that you're having with the person on the other end is illogical, and you're trying to figure out why in the world can you not understand this situation. We've all been through those kinds of problems, haven't we? Where we have communication problems. Our words just don't seem to meet with someone else. They just kind of pass one another. It seems that Philip, the apostle, who's following Jesus, who's been following him all the way through Jesus' life as he's preaching to these disciples and to the people around him, and to Thomas, and to Peter, and to all of the others. And Philip is not stupid. He's not any less intelligent than the rest of the apostles. He's probably just saying what needs to be said by all of the apostles. Lord, just show us the Father. Now, what Jesus has been doing all the way through John's gospel has been showing the Father. And Jesus looks at Philip and says, hey, what do you mean, show me the Father? Haven't I been showing you myself, and I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? If you see me, you see the Father. The words just didn't seem to compute for them. Sometimes in our own lives, also, words don't seem to compute. Even when we're trying to explain our faith to someone else. Even when we're trying to explain something that's happened in our lives, like, gee, I've just had a baby. Those of you who've had children who are graduating now from high school and moving on to other things. Gee, my child has just grown up. Gee, my child is now going on to other things in life. These are all miracles in our lives that we cannot really put words to, that we try to put words to, that we try to give lip service to, that we try to say, gee, I'm so happy, and yet deep down inside there's a sadness also. And we really can't say how we feel because we really are unaware. But our actions show how we feel, don't they? Our actions with our children show how we feel. Our actions today to show that we appreciate the accomplishments that Oakley and Lauren have accomplished in their lives. Show that this congregation appreciates you. That through the ups and downs of your life, we may not have been able to say, gee, Oakley, that was a great job. Or, oh, Oakley, I know that hurts. Or, Lauren, gee, how did you fall like that while you were running? You know, I hope that you're going to be better and you're going to get right up and move right on. Or, man, that's a great job you did. Another A. But today, we celebrate you. Today, we celebrate you because we know that there are lots of accomplishments, lots of difficulties, lots of obstacles, lots of challenges in your life, and they've made you the person you are today. And you know, that's sort of the way we are as the church as well. These two remind us today what the church is like. There are ups and downs, challenges and obstacles, difficulties and joyful moments in our lives, and yet we continue to go forward. You know, at graduation, they call it a commencement service because it's the beginning of your life. It's not the end. It's the beginning. You're just beginning to do something. And in some ways, the church is just beginning. We've been around for more than 2,000 years, but still, we're just beginning in a lot of ways. And today is that day of a re-beginning, a new commencement for us, a new time for us to sit and to think and to stand and to think and to act as the church. You see, in the Acts of the Apostles, Luke was very intentional of showing us that words sometimes are not enough, like they weren't for Peter in John's gospel. He wanted to see something more. He wanted to have something tangible in his life. And Luke, in the Acts of the Apostles, shows us the actions. That's why it's called the Acts of the Apostles. There are actions that move the people out into the world again and again and again and again. These are things that are done in the world. Things that are done in the name of Christ, the church moving in the world. Because words sometimes are not enough. And so, as these people are gathered in that room, that upper room as it was called, and the Spirit blows in, the Spirit is moving, and the Spirit moves the people to go out into the street. And the people then go out and they do something. They speak to the people on the streets. They speak in the languages so that all of the people who were there would hear the good news of Jesus. Of course, they use words, but I think it was a very intelligent person who once said, and I think it was St. Francis, go out and share the gospel, and if you have to, use words. Because I think that's what this day is about. Action. The action of the Holy Spirit in our lives, and the action that happens in our lives because of that Holy Spirit. You know, at a long time ago, I don't remember that time, but a long time ago, these two were babies. And the waters of baptism touched their heads, and we prayed for God's Holy Spirit to come into them and to imbue them with the power and the knowledge and the grace of God. And they've lived that power and knowledge and grace and wisdom even up to this point. Not because there's something special about them, but because there's something special about God. And that something special about God imbues all of us. And we all go out into the world to share that good news with others. Even when words aren't going to work. I'm going to share something with you. There's a gentleman downstairs. I hadn't intended on sharing this. He's homeless. And he asked if we could, he has a job lined up. He told me about the job. He's from New York. And he has no place to stay tonight. The police picked him up last night, and he was in jail. So he obviously had a place to stay last night, but the Path Center is empty. But if anybody would like to share with me, I'm going to help put him up somewhere for tonight. If you would like to help, see me after the service, and we'll make sure he's put up. This is one way. This is a very real way that we are the people of God in this world. And I'm not shaming you to do something. I'm telling you, this is one way that we can, as church, be church. Another way, Wednesday nights, we have a meal that is so important. This was one of the things that sold this congregation for me when I came here. We care about this community. And just caring for the community is not enough, because social services do that. But caring for the community enough to say, we love you in the name of Christ, and we see Christ in you, and we want to share Christ with you, and you to share with us. That's the important thing. And that's the important thing that I want Oakley and Lauren to know, that you not only have been imbued with the Holy Spirit, but you are representatives of Christ from this church. So wherever you go, whatever you do, you will bear that cross on your head, and people will say, there goes a Christian. People will also say, there goes someone from Zion's church. We know what those people are like, and we like you. And we expect a lot of you. Sorry, we do expect a lot of you. We expect a lot of all of us in this congregation because we all have God's Holy Spirit in us. And that Holy Spirit never stops moving, never stops acting in our lives so that we can act in the name of Christ for others. May you know more and more every day, every moment of your life, that you have the Holy Spirit in you, and that Holy Spirit is acting within you to move out into the world. Amen.